My name is Alara Quinn. I'm 36, and I've spent most of my life being the invisible daughter in a family that only values power, legacy, and obedience in that order. My father, Victor, is a business tycoon who built an empire on control, and my brother was always the chosen one, groomed to inherit it. I wasn't groomed for anything. I was tolerated. I grew up in a penthouse, but felt like I lived in the basement, always watching through the cracks. I never fit, never mattered, not really. But the one person who did make me feel seen was my little sister, Noelle, born when I was 28, a surprise child from a second marriage, and the only person in the world who looked at me like I was home. That's why I said yes when Dad asked to take her on a bonding trip. I wanted her to have something good, but I should have known better, because 3 days later, I stood in an airport full of strangers and realized he came back without her. LAX hums like a machine that never sleeps. I'm in arrivals 10:42 a.m. with cold coffee and a knot in my chest so tight I can't breathe right. The family chat pinged 30 minutes ago. Landing soon. Terminal B. I keep scanning every little girl with brown curls, every flash of pink hoodie. I even brought daisies. Noelle presses flowers and books like they're secrets. Doors slide open. Passengers spill out. Laughter. Carts squeaking. Toddler cries. Then I see him. Victor Quinn. Crisp suit. No jacket. Carry-on in hand. Phone in the other. Not a trace of rush. I step forward. Where's Noelle? He doesn't blink. She's fine. She's not with you. She stayed behind. I don't move. My hand tightens around the coffee cup until it creases. With who? She's safe. That's all you need to know. You didn't bring her back? I didn't plan to. The ground tilts slightly under me. My mouth opens, but the words don't land. Victor, what the hell are you talking about? His jaw twitches. You're overreacting. Is she with a guardian? A caretaker? A friend? I'm trying to stay rational, but my voice shakes. She's 8. She's not your daughter, Alara. She's my sister, and she's not an object to trade around like luggage. Security walks past us. I lower my voice. Tell me where she is. He just walks. Like we're done. Like this conversation is over. I follow him into the parking garage. The air turns colder. I will go to the police. He stops. Turns. There's nothing illegal about what I did. You took a minor out of the country and didn't return her to her legal household. That's kidnapping in every state I've taught law in. You're not a lawyer anymore, he says sharply. You're a paralegal at best. Let it go. I want to hit him. Or scream. Or both. But instead I pull my phone out. Screenshot after screenshot. Passport scans. Her school ID. The email where he asked for consent. She had a return ticket. His silence says otherwise. I call the airline. 10 minutes of questions. Hold music, verification codes. Then the agent returns. I'm sorry, Miss Quinn, but there's no record of a return ticket for Noelle Quinn. Her itinerary ends in Lisbon. Blood rushes to my ears. My mouth goes dry. Can I get a printed copy? There's nothing to print. She wasn't booked on the return flight. I hang up slowly. Victor opens his car door. She's where she needs to be. Tell me who she's with. I didn't say she was with someone. Pause. You left her alone? She's not alone. Who is she with? He gets in the car. Door slams. Engine starts. I run toward the side window. He doesn't look at me once. The SUV slides out of the garage like nothing happened. I stand there, one hand full of screenshots, the other holding a crushed daisy stem. The airport blurs behind me. Faces, luggage, escalators. None of them matter. I open the photo app. Noelle's face stares back. Big eyes. Missing front tooth. And then it hits me like cold water. If she wasn't booked on the return ticket, it means someone deleted her from it. My sister didn't miss her flight. My father erased her from it. I don't remember walking out of the garage. 1 second I was staring at Victor's taillights, disappearing into morning haze. The next, I was at the rideshare curb, phone burning in my hand. I called the airline again. Different agent. Same answer. There was never a return ticket issued for Noelle Quinn. I gripped the metal pole beside me like it was an anchor. My voice came out quieter than I expected. So she never had a seat? No, ma'am. Thank you, I said, like we were discussing a missed reservation, not a missing child. Cut scene. Inside the terminal. Cold. Loud. Too many lives moving in too many directions. I walked straight to the information desk. Showed the photo. Gave her birth date. Spelled her name twice. A pause. Then the woman leaned forward and said, "You need to speak with airport police." I did. I showed them my photo folder, screenshots of the travel consent form, Victor's text asking for it, Noelle's passport scan, a document trail lined with trust one should never have given. The officer, Alvarez, took one look and his posture changed. Straight back. Sharp tone. This was 3 days ago. Yes. And she was supposed to return today? Yes. He asked for the timeline. I gave it to him in bullets. Departed Thursday. Noelle was 8. No medical issues. No history of custody dispute. No contact since Saturday. He nodded once and radioed in. Then to me, stay close. I wasn't leaving. Cut scene. Phone call. To my friend Serena, family attorney. Ex-corporate shark, current single mom with a temper. What the hell was her greeting. I told her everything. She didn't interrupt once. Then, do not talk to your father again. Not until we get clarity. You understand. Clarity about what? I don't know yet, but when rich people lie this quietly, it's never random. My fingers were numb. My jaw hurt from clenching. A truth hit me sideways. The silence was the loudest part. Victor wasn't hiding panic. He wasn't hiding anything. He believed this would go unchallenged. Back in the officer's corner, Alvarez waved me over. We can't verify a guardian on the other end. She's alone. According to flight logs, yes. Noelle doesn't have a phone. She doesn't know the hotel name. She's 8. She won't even ask for extra ketchup without checking with me. I know. What do I do now? He didn't answer right away. I'll file a missing child transport report. It'll be flagged internationally. But he looked over my shoulder. I need something more. A reason they'd keep her. Cut scene. Victor's financial trail was always locked tight. Unless I pulled up the joint bank from years ago, the one I never officially closed because there was $27.14 in it. Wrong login. Try again. Third try. Got in. My breath caught. 3 days ago, a wire sent from a shadow account attached to Victor's LLC. To a name I didn't recognize. $175,000. Memo, Lisbon Investment Initiative. That wasn't random. People don't make 6-figure investments on the day they disappear with a child. Screen capture. Backup file. I emailed everything to Serena. Text came through instantly. What the actual hell? Then another. This could go federal. Then, you still think this is just about Noelle? Cut scene. Something made me look up. A man in a gray coat was leaning near the Starbucks across the way. Didn't have coffee. Didn't have luggage. Didn't move. I looked down at my screen. When I looked back, he was gone. I don't believe in paranoia. I believe in patterns. And when things vanish that cleanly they weren't random to begin with. I walked toward the exit. My fingers were buzzing. Phone pinged. Unknown number. One message. You're asking the wrong questions. I stared at it, then deleted it. Some silences aren't fear. Some are threat. I kept walking. Wind rushed in from the automatic doors like warning breath. If my father didn't leave her with someone, then who did he leave her for? Lisbon. 3:13 a.m. I stared at the bank transfer until the screen blurred. $175,000. Lisbon Investment Initiative. It wasn't a title. It was a code. I zoomed in on the wire confirmation. A digital fingerprint. The account it came from. Registered to Quinn Helix Holdings, a dormant shell company my father dissolved 10 years ago. Or said he did. People lie louder on paper. Cut scene. I texted Serena. He used a defunct LLC to transfer the money. Her reply came fast. That's structuring. That's concealment. Another ping. Elara, this isn't about Noel anymore. This is bigger. I was already moving. Rented a car. Black. Untraceable. The kind that disappears in traffic. By sunrise, I was outside the business district. Industrial alleys. Glass towers. A building with a brushed steel logo I didn't recognize. I waited. Sometimes you learn more by staying still. 2 men exited the building. One in a dark trench. The other in a tan blazer, carrying a child's coat. Pink with tiny strawberries. Noel's. Cut scene. I followed. They entered a restaurant. High-end. Private booths. No photos allowed. I walked in 5 minutes later. Head down. Coat zipped. Fake reservation name. Marissa DeLuca. Party of one. Slid into a booth near the back. Waited. They sat just 2 rows away. Trench coat man was speaking French. Blazer was American. Nervous. Sweating. She's already in place, he said. Under which name? Trench voice. Cold. Detached. Eva Morgan. The table shifted. My breath caught. Eva Morgan wasn't random. That name was on one of the foster files from Victor's closed cases. He'd used it once before for another girl. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was a system. Cut scene. I slipped into the restroom, locked the stall, pulled out my phone, opened the company site again, searched for Eva Morgan. Nothing. Then instinct. I searched Noel Quinn under image reverse. 1 hit. A corporate post 3 hours old. A ballroom. Bright. Gilded. Formal dinner. A banner. New Futures Gala. Shaping tomorrow. Front row. Executives. Investors. Back corner. A girl in a white dress, hair braided tight, shoulders hunched like she was holding in a scream. Noel. A caption. Future begins early. My stomach dropped. They weren't hiding her. They were showcasing her. Cut scene. I ran outside, nausea crawling up my throat. Called Serena. Told her everything. Every ugly syllable. Her voice cut through. Elara, you need to listen to me. I am. No, really listen. She paused. They're not selling her. They're presenting her. What the hell does that mean? I think your father made a deal. With these people. Your sister isn't missing. She's been placed. Like a goddamn product. Worse. Like a prototype. Silence. Then my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. 1 photo. A black van. License plate blurred. A girl inside. Head down. A message under it. You're already too late. I froze. Time didn't move. Cars passed like ghosts. A van turned the corner near me. Same shape. Same plate. Slowed. I ducked behind a delivery truck. Watched it idle. Windows tinted. Then it drove off. The wrong kind of quiet followed. I checked the photo again. Noel's hand was visible in the corner. Scraped knuckles. Small band-aid with a cartoon cat. A detail so real it hurt. I saved the image. Then whispered, they didn't take her to hide her. They took her to build something out of her. My father didn't abandon my sister. He traded her. The flight to Lisbon was 90 minutes of white noise and dry mouth. I stared at the city lights shimmering under clouds like broken glass. My phone buzzed. Unknown. One word. Found. I didn't reply. At the airport exit, the streetlights hit like interrogation lamps. A breeze that tasted of ocean and danger. I rented a black sedan with cash. No card. No trace. Driving through the old quarter. GPS screaming reroutes. Narrow streets. Echoing footsteps. Somewhere in the shadows, something was watching. 2 blocks in, a notification lit up the screen. Credit attempt blocked. Unusual activity. My bank. My accounts. I punched the exit. Pulled over. Opened the app. 3 transactions in the last hour. All tiny, but all to the same location. Lisbon, Old Harbor District. That wasn't incidental. I slipped my light jacket on, pulled the collar up. Risk is what makes life cinematic, I whispered to myself. That thought didn't calm me. It hammered. Cut scene. I stood outside the Docks Bistro. Dim lights, early risers, delivery trucks, and the hum of water against the wharf. A man in a dark trench coat stood alone, watching the water. He turned, looked directly at me. Not a glance. A stare. Eyes cold. Familiar. My breath hitched. Before I could react, he walked away. Fast. I followed. Through narrow alleys. Wet cobblestones. Every sound too sharp. A tire squeal, a shout. Footsteps not mine. Then I saw him enter a private restaurant with 2 others. A blonde woman in a sharp blazer and a kid's coat slung over her arm. My pulse tripled. I slipped inside under a sign that read private event, credentials only. No badge. No invite. 1 life or death decision. Follow them or get nothing. I walked toward the back. Waiting. Cameras angled toward the entrance. I ducked behind a curtain. A bartender served an expensive drink, a drop of amber that looked like a memory. The table I was watching? Voices I didn't expect. The woman was speaking English, clipped, measured. She's already in place. The man with the coat replied, name on arrival? Eva Morgan. Silence. My chest caved. Eva Morgan was a known alias, one the police used in old files connected to Victor's dismissed cases. She wasn't a caretaker. She was a placeholder. Proof. Proof that this was premeditated. I tried to lean in. Too close. Sudden hands on my shoulder. Music. Noise. Security. Miss Quinn. A familiar voice. Serena. Dark hair. Eyes sharp. We don't have much time. I turned, startled. What are you doing here? I hissed. My contact called it in. They want answers too. I nodded. We slipped out the back. Cut scene. Outside. Rain began, soft at first. By the time we hit the street, it was a downpour. Streetlights behind us flickered. We ran. Alley to alley. My shoes soaked. My jacket plastered to skin. I kept replaying their words. She's already in place. It echoed like a warning. We ducked into a fenced area. A container yard. Rusted metal. Shadows reaching in every direction. Serena pulled her phone out. Look at this, she said. New email. Subject. Lisbon Gala guest list. Attachment. A PDF titled Future Beginnings Committee. Elite invite only. Noel Quinn was on the guest list. Not just on it, top-tier placement. Next to names tied to international investors. My stomach dropped. That wasn't custody. That was presentation. A ceremony. Victoria Quinn didn't lose his mind. He gained leverage. But leverage for what? Serena's voice cut through the static in my head. They're showing her. Like an asset. An asset, I repeated. A phrase that tasted like acid. Then another alert. Unauthorized login attempt detected. My email. Someone was in my accounts. Watching. Updating. Tracking. Fear wasn't the word anymore. It was urgency. We had to move. To the gala. Riskier than anything I'd done. But if Noel was there, I had to go in. Alone. Serena grabbed my arm. Elara, think. No time. Every siren felt closer. Every heartbeat like a countdown. A car engine idled near the fence. Slow. Deliberate. Headlights off. Silhouette in the driver's seat. The engine cut. A door opened. In the dark, a voice called out, low and familiar. Elara. I froze, because I didn't expect to recognize it, but I did, and the name still made my heart slam into my throat. The valet handed me a white envelope. No name, no logo, just my sister's initials. NQ in sharp black ink. Rain slashed the pavement outside. Lisbon's streets shimmered like broken mirrors. I slid into the back seat of the hired sedan and tore it open. Inside, a single printed page. Future Beginnings Initiative. Private Event Pass. Access. Ballroom Areas A and B. Guest, Elara Quinn. They wanted me inside. I looked at the driver through the rearview mirror. His eyes were too calm. He didn't blink. You have 90 minutes, he said. After that, the doors close. Then nothing. I clicked the door shut. My throat burned. To be invited to a party by the people who stole your sister was a trap. Cut scene. The gala was on the top floor of a building that shone like a beacon against the dark sky. Glass panels and sleek stone. A chandelier inside that glowed like a distant star. I stepped in. Security scanners beeped. Uniformed guards with badges that didn't match any local agency I'd ever seen. A woman in a cream suit stood behind a podium, greeting guests with a bland smile. Welcome, she said. Future begins early. That phrase felt like a threat. I walked through the room. Cocktail draped like a prop I wasn't invited to touch. Walls lined with portraits of children in formal wear. Centered, proud, poised. Noelle's picture was there. Third row. Her shoulders squared. Her eyes too serious for her age. I exhaled. Every person in that room was watching. Then a voice beside me. Elara. I turned. Victor's silhouette, tall and pristine in a tuxedo that cost more than my rent. Dad, I said. No warmth. No hesitation. He tilted his head. You made it. This is where Noelle is. He didn't answer directly. Look around, he said, gesturing. We're celebrating the launch of something bigger than any one family. I clenched my jaw. Then where is she? A pause. Then a single man in a black suit walked onto the small stage. Lights dimmed. Spotlight. The room hushed. He smiled. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the future. He said a name I recognized from the invitation earlier. Mr. Calder Nolan, Director of Global Partnerships for the initiative. I didn't flinch. He spoke with polished precision. To shape tomorrow, we recognize potential early. Young minds, exceptional profiles, unmatched opportunity. That was not a speech. That was branding for human pawnage. Nolan scanned the crowd. His gaze landed on me. His smile tightened. He lifted a glass. To new beginnings. Applause followed. I stayed still. Every face around me was too polite, too practiced. I felt watched. I glanced at a mirrored pillar, then realized someone wasn't looking at the stage. A man at a corner table in a charcoal suit leaned too far forward, watching me, not applauding, just watching. I shifted. He vanished. The wind of tension rushed on my spine. Cut scene. A ping on my phone, a message from Serena. Don't trust anything you see. Follow the flow. Follow the flow. The words echoed like warning bells. I scanned the event program on the table. There was a post-presentation reception, a behind-the-scenes room labeled White Room. No names. No security check. Just access for VIP subjects and guardians. My vision narrowed. Behind stage. Behind polished optics. Behind their smiles. That was where Noelle would be. I slipped away from the floor. Past guards planted like statues. down a narrow service hallway, a door marked staff only. My hand on the handle. I paused and remembered something old. When you are everywhere, you are nowhere. I pushed in. Dim light. White walls like a clean slate. A single corridor. No cameras visible. My steps echoed. Then fast footsteps behind me. I turned. Nolan. Hand outstretched. His grin was too tight. I wouldn't go further, he said calmly. Where is she? I said, barely above a whisper. He shook his head. She's here, but you're not ready to see what she's become. My heart thudded like an alarm. I took a breath. His eyes flicked. He didn't move his feet, but his stance shifted, like someone ready to vanish or strike. Then everything changed. A voice crackled through my ear. Serena's voice on my concealed earpiece. Ilara, there's a second exit. 10 meters behind you. I turned. The corridor split. Left, Nolan blocking. Right, a door marked service stairwell. I didn't think. I ran. Stairwell lights flickered. Concrete echoed. I reached the bottom. A heavy metal door. I pushed. Locked. Then a hand slammed against it from the other side. Someone whispered, Ilara. Slow motion. My heart in my throat. The voice wasn't expectation. It was recognition. And dread. I knew it. Because that voice carried something I thought I had lost. Something innocent. Something I wasn't supposed to hear again. Aunt Serena? My breath cut in the shitty stairwell air. Then louder beyond the metal. A child's voice, thin but clear. Ellie? Is that you? It was Noelle, and my heart shattered into motion. Hands trembling. I pushed the metal door open. Noelle stood there, her eyes wide, tear tracks still warm on her cheeks. I didn't breathe. I just caught her. She collapsed into my arms. Her small body shook. You came, she whispered. I pressed my forehead to hers. I came. Behind us, shouts. Metal clanged. Someone was coming. Footsteps multiplied. This wasn't over. Not yet. I scanned the room. White walls fluorescent, echoing like fate. My phone buzzed. One message. From Serena. They've tracked your signal. Go. Now. I spun. The door slammed behind me. Victor stood there. His face was pale. Too controlled. Don't come any closer, I said. Noelle gripped my shirt. Mom, she asked. Her voice was small, fragile, but steady. I looked at her, then at Victor. His breath was slow, too slow, like he'd rehearsed this. Why was all I could say. He didn't answer right away. What we do, he finally said, is bigger than us. His gaze flicked past me, past Noelle, at nothing. Then, they wanted her. My head snapped. What did you do to her? He stepped closer. No, what I did for her. I laughed sharp and hollow. By hiding her? By turning her into a commodity. He recoiled as though struck. Listen, he said, voice low. We protect what's valuable. I remembered something I once read. People protect what they love, but they exploit what they fear. Victor feared Noelle. He feared what she represented, and he used that fear like a weapon. I stepped between him and Noelle. Tell me where we are. He hesitated, then motioned. Outside, a runway, black tarmac, jet engines idling, heat waves rising, sirens faintly screaming in the distance. They will evacuate you, Victor said. Then this ends here. The wind cut across the runway. Cold, relentless. Noelle squeezed my hand. I looked at her, then at Victor. Before I could speak, a figure emerged from the shadows. Serena, gun in hand, not pointed at me, pointed at Victor. Ilara, she said, breathless. They're not here to evacuate you. I felt it then, a shift. Sirens grew louder. Lights flashed from far down the runway. red and blue teeth tearing through night. I turned back to Victor. He was not the only threat. Not by far. From the corner of my eye, a helicopter descended. Spotlight skittered across the runway like something alive. Nolan's voice came through static on my phone. "Stand down or she dies." I looked at Noelle. Her lip quivered, but she didn't look away. Her eyes were fierce, defiant. In that moment, I understood something. Courage wasn't absence of fear. It was choosing presence despite it. I faced Victor and said, "We leave together." Noelle at my side, Serena behind, Victor alone. That was the choice. Then a shot cracked. Not at us. Behind us. Metal screeched. A support beam on the jet tore. Sparks like pale fire. Chaos bloomed like blood on snow. People scattered. I grabbed Noelle. Ran, not looking back. The helicopter's spotlight bounced overhead. Then silence, except for our breathing. Heavy, shaking, but together. In a lull before explosion, emotional, literal. I didn't know what would happen next. But I knew this. A world that trades children for power is a world I refuse to enter. We ran toward the distant lights. Toward law. Toward home. Not just a place, but a promise. Noelle would not be shaped by fear. Not by prestige. Not by legacy. But by love. And safety. Serena called it later. After the arrests, after statements, after weighty legalese and mandatory reports and international agencies convened. She said, "You didn't just take her home. You reclaimed her future." I didn't feel heroic, just relieved. But Noelle? She looked at me and said, "I thought you were gone for good." I lifted her up, held her close, and whispered, "I'm here. I never left." We walked away from the runway together, under morning sun rising like a promise. And in that rising light, I understood the truth of what we'd lived through. Family is not the people who abandon you. It's the ones who fight to bring you back.